I'm too impatient. Now, hey, it's Sunday morning, and that means Art of Rock, and I'm gathered here with my amazing friends slash co-conspirators in rock and roll, and we're going to talk about rock and roll, and my mic is on, and I feel good about it. Every Sunday morning, right here, join us on ANGELSPIT'S Twitch, and if you're not in on ANGELSPIT'S Twitch, please like and subscribe to ANGELSPIT'S Twitch, because it's the place to be. As I say, welcome Eric and welcome Adam. All of this mayhem is made possible by ANGELSPIT'S Patreon. I did spell that right. These people are from ANGELSPIT'S Patreon, and you people keep me going. I know I say that every year, every week, every moment, but it's the truth. And we gonna keep each other going. And also on the Discord. Oh yeah, there are 2 days left. So if you're bored and you want something crazy, join ANGELSPIT'S Patreon. But if you don't want to, don't, because everything that's on there will eventually be for free. Because, god damn it, everyone's doing it hard right now. We are in the last 2 days of ANGELSPIT'S Kickstarter for Diesel Priest. There's a link. Go click on that link, and you can get some crazy shit. Also, a lot of the merch and stuff on that Kickstarter will only be available for the Kickstarter. Like, there might be a couple of t-shirts and a couple of hoodies afterwards, but I wouldn't bank on it. So if you want that mayhem, go get it. And now if you're in the EU or England, go get it off our Bandcamp because of tariffs. And I think Kickstarter's actually fixed the tariff thing since I launched on it. Thanks, guys. But anyway, go get it on the Bandcamp. And it'll be on the Bandcamp forever. Now, if you want a whole bunch of really cool new music on your Spotify, add that playlist. That playlist is made up from rock stars here, and it's a whole bunch of our music, so go enjoy it. And if you're here, email me the link to one of your Spotify tracks, and I will add it. And all I ask is that you pimp it. This is important. And then, Adam, I got yours, but I haven't done it yet because I've had a hell of a week. So we've got to pimp this, and everyone's got to pimp it. Look at that. Fantastic. Spotify, new music. On the subject of pimping, after this, we're writing to MTV TV, and if you like your music dark, non-stop, and woo, you need MTV TV. Follow them on Twitch, and if you're in a band, get your music on MTV TV. Email them with that link right there, and it's a whole bunch of yes. Now, also, MTV TV have just started a Patreon. Hold on, I don't think that pasted. I don't think it pasted. I'm going to paste it again. Money goes towards keeping MTV TV going. Support them, back them. This is good. Our community needs them. And if you're in a band and if you do streaming on Twitch, raid back to MTV TV when you're done, because it's going to keep the excitement and everything, and we are a community and we got to keep this going. Okay, everyone, your mics are hot. Welcome to Art of Rock. Vince, I'm going to throw it to you because you had a really cool question.
All right, had to unmute. Okay. Is my mic better?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay. All right, I have a music video for the track that I just released beginning of October. I wanted to release the video for Halloween because it's Halloween and it's a horror themed music video, so I figured it might make sense. But I kind of want to release it early, and part of that is because Halloween is busy, and we've discussed on the show before, not releasing something on a Bandcamp Friday because everybody will get caught up in the tsunami of releases and not get noticed. So I was thinking I want to release it early, but I wanted to go somewhere once as soon as it's out. So I kind of want to put it somewhere when I release it, not just throw it on my YouTube channel. But I guess the question was more timing than, should I wait till Halloween since that's when I said it's coming, or should I just put it out there ahead of time?
This is excellent, and this gets into the whole marketing rollout. I want to throw the floor open because I want to hear what you guys have to say. Or I could, Adam, go.
I've always got something I can say, but don't let me interrupt you.
Floor is yours, baby. You go for it.
Like, I won't interrupt you, but I might interject a little. Um, on timing on that, I think it would be nice for you to have it available for Halloween, right? Like you can still call your hard release day Halloween, for the sake of press release and that kind of stuff. But if you have the stuff available before Halloween, like I know in the case of our channel, we need it ahead of time to plan for stuff like that. We need a couple of weeks notice. Like we've been able to squeeze in some things kind of at the last minute, but it really depends um on what we've got going on at the time. So the sooner that we have something, the better. And if you want something to coincide, if you've got several things going, like like an interview on Space Couch or with Ken on Sounds and Shadows, or for Procession magazine or something, where they have deadlines, and they have regularly scheduled programs or releases or whatever you want to call it. They all need that stuff ahead of time too. So if you really want the promotional machine to work for you in favor of having a Halloween release date, last week. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Putting something out on Halloween, if you're planning on having all the press stuff to happen after that, but if you want it to be in the press stuff that you're releasing it on Halloween, you need to have it in advance. Yeah.
Thank you, Adam. I'm going to pick up on that, but first, here's Eric.
Hello. Yeah, I think Adam hit that pretty good. My EP I wanted to have out for October for Halloween too. But I'm kind of going the opposite route, Vincent. I'm going into November or December, like Carl has his album coming out in December. I also think within our genre of dark music, everybody releases it in Halloween and October. That's like, the thing to do. So releasing it at a different time other than that, I think people notice it more, because that big rush of all that dark music coming out in October for Halloween is done, and then like people are like, oh yeah, it's all done. Then what's coming out in November and December? Just my opinion.
No, that's excellent. Thanks, man. Steve, welcome back. What you got?
Yeah. I just wanted to. I'm sorry. I was up late to like 4, 5 o'clock last night working on this project that I'm working on. So I woke up late, so I'm a little discombobulated. So let me start. Like say you're about to, hello from another person with weird facial hair and a cowboy hat. Hello, Adam. I like your hat. I'm working on this thing. Like I got involved with this community called Topia. I think I talked to you, Carl, to go out to the Build-A-Burn. Yeah. And so like when I got involved with Build-A-Burn, I was really inspired to build some stuff out there. And I have a lot of talented friends and a lot of talented people that I know. Like I've been following Carl for 12 years, I think. I don't know. Whenever Angel Spit came to Atlanta, I've been a fan since then. And so I did this thing called Topia Ween. And Topia is like this spatial chat thing, but it's an artist. Like all the assets here are created. I'd like for y'all to check it out. But like I've been wanting to come back here, but every time I was here, I wasn't a musician, and I was in a creative spot. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I've kind of found my niche, and I like to support people and push talented people. And so I did this Topia Ween thing for Halloween, and I thought that I'd come out here today and see if anybody wanted to put like a Twitch stream out there, because you can stream Twitch. And if y'all got some time, I'd like for you to go take a look at it, because it's a really cool thing. There's some cool artists that have done some really cool displays, like visual displays. It's a website. So, but yeah, like I've been listening to the Twitch stream, the TV thing, and there's some really cool music. Are all of you guys on that?
A lot of us are, yeah.
Yeah, I've enjoyed that. But I was wondering if it starts tonight. We have Rocky Heart Picture Show tonight, but all week until Halloween, we're still gonna have like just fun little events and stuff. I've got a guy from New York that's going to DJ Friday and Saturday night. But if anybody would like to put their Twitch stream up, and you can even upload some assets there. If you want to take some time after this to look at it, if anybody's interested, I'll go show you what we can put in there, and that would be a good promotion for you if you'd like to do that. I mean, I'm not making any money. It's not a money thing. This is something I'm just doing out of a love for the artist and all that kind of thing. And if anybody's interested after this, if you're with me, I will show you it and show you how you just put your Twitch stream in. You can come in live with your Twitch stream one night, or you can just be there all week if you want to. So I'm just gonna let you know that.
Awesome. Thank you. Two things. One, turn your mic up. Two, I'm gonna make sure my mic's up. Yeah, a lot of people say I'm not a musician, so I don't turn up on these things. But it's funny, we don't actually talk about. Oh no, we do talk about music a lot, but we do, crosses into so many different things. We're gonna, after we've done this post, we've done this stream, I always leave the Zoom open and we hang out and chat. So this might come out. So that's another really excellent way of getting into the burner community. And, it's full of goths anyway. Oh, but we're not goths, so don't worry about it. Thank you again for that. Julius, what you got?
Okay, hey everyone. So I agree with the one speaking before me. Vince, I would rather release the video later than Halloween than before, for one simple reason, because then you got more time to pimp it. And I think, and to develop a marketing campaign even. And I think you also asked for another place to put the video on other than YouTube. I think Bandcamp has something like that, but it's included in Bandcamp Pro, I think.
You don't need Bandcamp Pro because the video for Solace is included with my discography.
Ah, awesome.
Okay. I already have a music video available on Bandcamp with my stuff, so I know I can put it there.
Cool.
The later release would be what's included there, because that's what I was thinking, was put it on there early, but I should wait till later. That makes sense.
Yeah, and there's also Vivo, VEVO, this video platform.
Yeah, see, I've got so many media platforms already that I use. Like, I don't really want to learn another one. I'm still working on TikTok right now.
Understandable.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to talk and put your hand up if you want to interrupt me or let me know politely. Wow. This is brilliant, and my brain kind of crunching to a halt here is because it's like, this is a big subject and everybody deals and really, really, really deals with this one. Firstly, you need minimum a month. In the olden days of rock and roll, it was 3 months. That was for a video and everything else. I really need to get my shit together and release this bloody release schedule thing that I've got. If you guys care, in a week, I have to contact artists for as in visual artists for a remix release, which is in March. I also have to start working on all of this other stuff that no one's going to see for like 2 or 3 months. And I have to categorize this stuff because I'm so messy. First point is I always talk about throwing the stone in the pond and the ripples. I'm going to call it 2 or 3 months. Secondly, Halloween is crazy time. So is June 6th, 666. Everybody has to release their stuff then. FYI, I think the quietest times are actually mid-late January, February, March, even into April, because there's nothing going on then. Then everything starts ramping up. So as far as you are concerned right now, if you've dedicated to releasing that video, then I guess you have to release the video. There are things where you can mention it. For example, Tiger Squawk. Brian's label, Tiger Squawk. if you want label backing, talk to Brian. Show him what you got. And Brian it's sort of like it's a very interesting label because it's an umbrella kind of cooperative label where everybody kind of helps everybody out. So you might be interested in throwing stuff at Tiger Squawk, and Brian might be interested in helping you out. I wouldn't go down the road of black pill, red pill because I don't have the time, frankly. And if I've got a band under my wing, I've got to promote that band. I can't let that band down, and right now my plate's full. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Talk to Tiger Squawk, and the cool thing about Tiger Squawk is that every time Brian does a Space Couch, he'll mention you in there. And the community on Tiger Squawk's insane. It's really, really good. I mean, so is the community here. We all pimp each other. Anyway, back to the main thing. If you're dedicated to a week, then you let it fly in a week. In fact, I don't know, man. I just think the more running you give it, and the more time you have to hit press and to hit social media and the better. Then this goes into a thing about TikTok or Instagram. I followed the rules of TikTok, and this is no diss on Blood Rose who gave us that amazing thing on TikTok. I'm getting 1 view per bloody video, and I just need to figure it out more. I'm doing the hashtags, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but I don't know. Maybe I've got them set to private or something. I don't know. But, Vince, like you said, oh, great, a new media that I have to learn, a new thing that I have to update. It's like, my God. Also, remember that, hold on, I'll read this out live. Actually, I'm going to throw it to you, Diana, in a minute. When you go on YouTube, remember you can send people posts. And with your Bandcamp, you can send a blurb to everybody on your Bandcamp for free, in your Bandcamp community. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to be on a pro account, but you can send everybody a thing saying, hey guys, I've got a new video out and it launches today. Go watch it now. Also, Bands in Town lets you do that as well. And obviously with Bandcamp, you can say, and while you're there, check out the single, buy the single, or it's a free download, or, whatever. Like, it's so important to consolidate your assets. And by assets, I mean the Bandcamp and the emails that people have sent you to Bandcamp. Get those emails, import them into MailChimp, and set up an email distribution thing where you'll be sending them out newsletter once a month or once every 2 months about the cool shit you're doing. Be using Instagram and TikTok. And, like, I hate putting my face out there. I hate doing this stuff. I fucking hate marketing. But half the job's marketing. And the thing about marketing is that I feel like I'm ranting and talking a whole bunch of shit now. You have to have a pre-slam going into there. You have to have a rollout plan and all that jazz. Like, I'm going to contact Brian and Ken and me so I can promote it at the beginning of these things. You've got to have that thing in motion. And I feel like this is my bad because I've been saying, I'm going to show everybody this rollout plan, and I just haven't got around to it, and I apologize. I have to fucking do this. Well, go ahead.
The song's already out. I released the song.
That's the one you did with Panda?
Yeah.
Which I've already sent to my DJs, and it got a good response.
Awesome. I was wondering about that. I just hadn't asked because I didn't want to. I don't want to be pushy about it.
The trick with this game is being pushy. And Adam will want to agree with me right now, but I'm going to mute his mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, see, the problem with that is I'm real good at being an asshole, and sometimes it happens accidentally. So like, I try to keep my mouth shut whenever possible. No, see, the song's already out. I wanted to do the video on Halloween because the song came out at the beginning of the month. I didn't have a definite plan for the video until about a week ago, because I knew I was going to make one. I didn't know how I was going to go about it yet. So I
you've
have the
made it.
Halloween- Yeah, the video's done. It's
Okay.
ready. I need to. I think I'm going to wait till November 3rd. It makes sense because if I'm hosting on November 3rd, and if I can get it in there, then yeah, that's great.
And
that works fine.
That's also excellent because then I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's close enough to Halloween, and it gets pushed somewhere that way. So
yeah, and also remember to send out an email to everyone on your Bandcamp. It might only be 10 people, but it's better than nothing.
It's only 10 people.
All right, then it is better than nothing. And a hint with your Bandcamp is give shit away for free, because remember, an email address of somebody who is going to back you and give you money is worth a lot of money. Think about it. Every release, most likely, people are going to start backing you. The cost of a digital is fundamentally nothing. So if you're giving shit away, they have to give you their email. They have to opt out of Bandcamp's email list that only you get to access for your Bandcamp releases. So if you're giving singles away and alternative versions and all of this stuff, and you're pushing people towards that thing, you start building that market of people who are interested in you and are ready to buy. Because if you're on Bandcamp, you're ready to buy. Then you build it from there. And it might be do something free, then do a paid thing. Do something free, do a paid thing. And you might say, okay, every 2 months, I'm going to be releasing something on Bandcamp, and that might be a single. I think a month is too short, and I want to say 3 months ultimately, but go with 2 months, and that's going to take a hell of a lot of discipline and a hell of a lot of planning. But if you say for the next 12 months, and then you're also pushing the making of it onto your Instagram and onto TikTok. And those two things are linked up, and you drop it in one and it automatically drops on the other, then it automatically drops on your Facebook. And if you just keep pushing into this thing, then it's the next single. Push, push, push. God, I wish I would listen to my advice. And then at the 11th hour when you mention it, you go, hey guys, it's going to be free. I'm giving it away for free. I'm giving it away for free for the first 48 hours. Or I'm giving it away for free on Bandcamp Friday. Actually, I don't want to talk about Bandcamp Friday. I'm having a breakdown. Adam, save me now. You were supposed to interrupt me 2 minutes ago, man.
Oh, shit.
No,
you know
you
what
weren't.
it is,
I'm
man,
kidding.
Is you've trained me away from interrupting.
Yeah, I have.
you.
Also, do me a favor. Diana put something really important in the comments here. Can you hit on that as well?
For videos, we have new videos on Wednesdays. Is that what?
That the thing that you just. I wanted you to do it with a bit more finesse. Hey guys, we have new videos on Wednesdays. You know.
Make sure you tune in to MTV TV on Wednesdays for new music o'clock at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. GMT, and Thursday mornings in New Zealand at 9 a.m. because we bring you the latest videos that are being added to the rotation every single week.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to throw to you back. No, that was beautiful. Diana, what I need you to do is I need you to have a super short tweetable thing like that. And please drop that in the Twitch comments, like, constantly. You know, like a couple of times each of these things, because this is really important. Adam,
I'll get it on green screen.
I'm going to shut up. That's a saying. Dude, we're going to get that on green screen. I'm going to shut up now. The floor is yours. What amazingness do you have for me? Us.
Well, I was gonna follow up with what you were saying about the free giveaways on Bandcamp for the mailing list. I think it's terrific. Like I think so all right, so I kind of have a two-sided a two-headed hydra here. So the first thing that I was thinking is at what point, like this is kind of a hard thing to really get out, so bear with me. Like at what point have we exceeded the expectation of social media viewership? Does that make sense? Like, I feel like, you know, the more that we do on social media, it's almost like placing more demand on our followers to follow it, because you know, it's like, you know, what you were saying on TikTok, it's like I'm getting like one view. Well, I mean, my initial thought on that was, well, you know, your audience isn't used to you being on TikTok, for one, and your audience might not really be on TikTok, although there might be a new audience there for you if they find you, but it'll take a while, you know. And I guess the thing that I wonder is, at what point it's like, you know, there are so many social media platforms, all of them kind of seem to have their one thing that they do particularly well. And Facebook's case, it's integrating into everything, but the thing that they don't do well is show it to anybody. Um, you know, but this is my question there. Like, you know, I'll leave that one out to the floor in a moment. But what I did want to say is, like, the mailing list thing seems to be even more important. The more inundated we get with social media, like, it wasn't so bad when it was just a couple of them and kind of everybody was on MySpace and then everybody went to Facebook, kind of thing. It wasn't so bad when there was just a couple of things that we were trying to handle. But now, with like literally dozens and dozens of potential social media sites, everybody in the world seems to have their kind of like little niche place that they hang out. um I guess what I want to open to the floor, well, the thing that I want to say about mailing lists is that mailing lists seem more important, and free giveaways are a great way to get mailing lists. That is, I'm not going to lie, it is part of the reason that I give away free stickers whenever we do events and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, free stickers, email me, send me your post address, I will send you free stickers. But, you know, now I have your email address and your post address, but that just means that you get more shit when I send out more shit, really. But like, and you know, we're very careful not to abuse the email list, because, you know, we can inundate social media. We can do 100 freaking things on social media a day and nobody will really even see it. But if we keep spamming their inboxes, that, well, the first thing that they're gonna do is be like, unsubscribe me, please. But yeah, so that's my thought on the email addresses, getting email addresses, and I think that they're more important now than ever. As social, like, they were super important before we had all the social media, but now that there's so gosh darn much social media, it feels like having a way to connect directly becomes even more crucial. And I think the thing that I want to throw out to the floor here is, like, where do you honestly feel like your responsibility lies? And like, you're already a creator, right? You create because you are compelled to create. At what point do you feel like the responsibility, so to speak, of doing all of this other creation, like, not because you want to, but because you feel like you have to, right? And I guess what I'm also asking is, what do you feel like the return on investment on that is?
Okay, thank you, Adam. Guys, I'm going to actually stop this session. There is a bar around the corner. I will meet you guys there in 3 minutes, and we're going to get fucking drunk and talk about shit. But before we do, no, this is really important. I just want to make, and I want to hit this, but Eric, I'm sorry, Vince, I want to pull it back to yours. I want to pull it back to this original thing, because I want to make sure that we come up with some kind of plan together here, now, today. So please talk to me and pull it back into your problem.
Okay. First, I want to mention something about the social media and email list, because I have the problem there is, as important as an email list is, social media is the way you have to build that email list because of the current marketing meta. Like, you don't really have another option. You have to use social media to build the following, to be able to build a list. And to consolidate your resources, you have to have several social media accounts, because not everybody's in the same place. So you're kind of left with no option. No matter what your business is, social media is the only way you have to connect to people. to market yourself effectively, unless you've got a ton of money and you can place a television ad. But, all right, where were we?
We were talking about your release.
Yes. Yeah, I use Bandcamp for the email list actually. But I've been slacking on that. I need to get sending stuff out more often. And concrete plan. That's where your choice you're saying. I'm having a hard time keeping track of things. I've had a rough couple of days. Yeah, I like to put it on MTV TV November 3rd if they've got room. Put it in the rotation that day so I can premiere it when I'm hosting. That's perfect. That's better than I hoped for, actually. So that works nicely for me. And I don't know what else to say about it because I've actually kind of been thinking about that in the back of my mind this whole time.
Okay, can I talk? And I'm just gonna fling back to you. Okay, I'm gonna make a bet with everybody right now. I'm gonna do. I think my record is about 800 Instagram clicks. I think that's my bet. Now, if I scream into this phone and then I point it at you guys and you all scream into this phone, I bet you that I will get the highest views I've ever got. So this is a two-part question. The first part is, do you think this is worthy of us wasting 2 seconds of our life on? And I forgot, do you want to do this? All I want you to do is get right in the camera and scream like this. You ready? That means you, Julius.
You mean unmuted, like screaming?
Well,
or
actually, yeah, let's do that. I just took out headphones. Let me hear you talk. And there is a reason. There's a point.
Into the void we scream.
Hold on. Where's my next setting? Speaker. Yep, look at that. Okay, so just give me. So I want you all in the mic, in the camera, screaming hysterically. Go. Okay. Now I'm gonna post that right in the middle of all my Kickstarter stuff. But who gives a shit? Hold on. I just gotta make sure I'm back in my headphones. My is. Wow, I was muted. Headphones. Okay. I'm gonna post this in a second. Now my point is that there's so much noise. In answer to your question, and I do want to talk about return on investment, it's practically nothing. It really fucking is nothing. Although I will then say that I did a Facebook ad campaign for my Kickstarter, and now I'm not doing them anymore because it was a total waste of my money. The yield from that was basically zero. Actually, no, I sold a little bit of drummage got out there. But now what I'm doing, as you guys can probably tell, is I'm dumping one of these things every day across all social media, getting in people's faces, being an asshole about it. And that's the other thing, Vince, is you got to figure out how to be an asshole but be a fun, lovable asshole. Hey, guys, I just want to remind you my new video's coming out. Go watch it. And this is what I'm doing now is yielding. Because I'm counting it down now, how many days are left. So, in answer to the question, the return on the investment is extremely small. The other point I'm going to make while you're talking, Eric, is that if we put something stupid out there, because please remember, TikTok, Instagram, all of these social media things, they have one point, and that is to exercise this muscle and give you arthritis. And nothing else. When you're doing that, very few people go, oh yes, I will purchase money now. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. And we're all guilty of it. So, Eric, the floor is yours. I'm just going to post something stupid. And And then we'll throw this open. This is turning into therapy now. Go, Eric.
Yeah, just to touch on that too, Carl. I've mentioned this before. I think Instagram is a lot better than Facebook. I'm pretty much not on Facebook at all anymore. I know it's the same company, but their algorithms and everything is completely different. At least on Instagram, I get likes and views and clicks, and on Facebook, I'm dead to the world. And like you can't put a link to your anything in your post. You have to put it in the comments, and that's not even working anymore. I found for me, and they bury you in the algorithm, and they always ask you to promote your shit, and then you pay the money. And I've paid money before, and it was like, hey, you're gonna reach 10 to 15,000 people for this much money, and I paid. It was like $50 or something, and I put it in there, and I think I reached like 752 people after it was lying to me saying I'm gonna reach 10,000 people, and it got me like, I think I sold one single off that. That was my last project, and I will never put money into Facebook again. Instagram, I haven't tried yet. So again, paying to promote on Facebook, I don't think there's a good turnaround. I don't think it's worth it at all, personally.
I limited base.
Do I see another hand? I'm really agreeing right now. What other dumb hashtags can I throw in here? Halloween. And then I want to talk to you about the Kickstarter engine. Halloween. And I should tag some of you guys, shouldn't I? Oh, it just crashed on me. Yeah, I totally agree. Adam, can you just talk for a second while I do this incredibly important thing? Wow, the one time I get you to interrupt and there's nothing.
You know, like nothing like being put on the spot, Carl.
Adam, you are the spot.
Like, let me tell you about the 1956 DeSoto.
Okay. Yeah, but how about on hold on, ANGELSPIT, boom, there you go. Okay. So, I believe that the point of a lot of these things is to be showing you behind the behind the scenes stuff of coolness. That's a real strong point of this social media stuff, because they want to see stuff that has the they're great hashtags. Thanks, Rob. Unfortunately I just posted it. They want to see stuff that has the same ha 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 make me feel about my life because the world is fucking collapsing around me right now as a kitten. That's what people want. So, and I just posted that on TikTok, and I'll tell you what, I mean on Instagram, and we'll see what goes, because the point is, yeah, it's up there. The point of it is that people want fun stuff that they can do this to, and to actually hit them at a point of, I'm going to make you buy stuff, you have to hit them at that marketplace. These things are ultimately a playground, and at the playground, every now and then they might be saying, oh, by the way, on Bandcamp, this thing's coming up. But ultimately, it's a playground. That's what I think anyway. And then somebody else is probably going to disagree with me because somebody else has had a different set of luck with that. I had a dude who had 24 million plays on TikTok, and I said to him, what are the return on investment? What is the staying power of this stuff? He tagged all of these people. We never got any flow on from it. It wasn't his fault. It's just that's not the market. The really cool thing about GoFundMe's and Kickstarter and all of these things is that here is a place that when you are electronically in this mall, you're there to buy. You are there to back stuff. And it's the same with Bandcamp and all of these things. And that's why it's really important to build my mic is on, to build an audience and an email list on these things. TikTok is just like, and this stuff, like I said, it's just for, oh yeah, cool. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, like, and that's cool, man. All of us go down the kitten rabbit hole at some time. Or I don't want to say kitten hole because that's rude. That's my side project, is Kitten Hole. This is my guitarist from Kitten Hole, Eric D.
I like that kitten hole. That's
Kitten hole.
I like it. I just want to throw out
And
there
you got to say it like kitten hole.
Your logo is an asterisk.
I was thinking maybe an asterisk with like an exclamation mark on top of it. And you could put 2 brackets on either side as well. Okay, Eric, we're listening to you, and Julius.
Yeah.
Hey,
Now.
hold on. This is really important, and everything you say is so important. That's Kitten Hole. That's the logo right there. Eric, Julius, can you say to me in the sexiest German accent, Kitten Hole, or come on.
Kitten hole.
Holy shit! We just struck gold. Eric, go.
Julius, that was awesome.
Yeah. That was better than transducer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed. Just touching on email lists and stuff too, and we've talked about this in a past stream. But I finally, like 2 weeks ago, made a website and got the domain and put the website together, and I had an email list on there, and I actually have quite a few email people on that I don't have on my Bandcamp. And yeah, it costs money to get the website together, but it's also a good landing page for your social media stuff. And sending traffic to your page is, I think, better than sending it to anything else. Having your actual page up, but that's just my opinion. But like I said, I have people on an email list already on through my actual website now than I don't have my Bandcamp. So combine the Bandcamp with maybe a different means of sending out emails too could help. And you're investing, in my opinion, again, you're investing in yourself having a web page up instead of investing in Facebook or Instagram and putting money out. It's better to invest in yourself than give these other companies money that are just going to bury you and not give a shit about you anyway.
Totally agree. Get a MailChimp or a similar email, mass email software. Learn how to use it so you put somebody's name in there and da-da-da-da-da. Hey, insert name here. I've got some cool news about Hanging Raven. Get a website. Get a website. Like, buy the fucking domain. Spend, is it $30, $20 or something a year, $11 a year for the .com or whatever. Buy a website. Point the domain to a fucking alias website and just have your stuff there. People are still going to ANGELSPIT'S website. Like huge. I don't understand why. And plus, it's a clearing. Can we stop talking about Kitten Hole for a minute? Actually, maybe we shouldn't. You know what? Maybe this whole Kitten Hole thing is a really interesting experiment into marketing. And you're all looking at Kitten Hole things right now. No one's listening to me. Fucking cares what I was saying. Julius, can you just unmic? And you know what I want you to say.
Do you want me to say kitten hole?
Oh, yeah. But say it longer and slower.
Why aren't we putting that on TikTok?
Good idea. Kitten hole.
Okay, so here's a challenge. And if we could do this, if we could be fucked, all of us would do a track called Kitten Hole. And make it really short, like 30 seconds, and put it on Bandcamp for free. And then super short, super ba-dum-bum kind of thing. And maybe it's each of us saying Kitten Hole, although Julius is killing the Kitten Hole thing right now. And 30 seconds so you can put it on Instagram, you can put it on TikTok and all that. Here's something really interesting. So I was looking back at all those videos I did on the Ignorance Cartel. I'm sorry, I'm kind of really dumping this morning. I apologize. I was looking at the plays of that because somebody on Sounds and Shadows said, I don't really take a band seriously unless they have 1,000 views on. Anyone else see that post? On Sounds and Shadows is a great Facebook page and you need to jump on it. It's great for the community. I hardly get plays over 1,000 views. Hardly. So all the videos that me, Mike, and all the other people did for Ignorance Cartel, not very many of them have got over 1,000 views right now. The amount of time and effort, what I put my wife through to do those videos. And And I pipped the shit out of those fucking videos. And thank you again, MTV TV, for playing those videos and making it happen. So what I've done with this one has been like this experiment of what happens if I just do a selfie of me running everything through the modular, then fucking with it for 1 minute. What happens? Sure enough, the hits and everything else I've been getting have been a higher volume and velocity on Instagram, except not on TikTok, than anything else. I don't know what this is the answer. Kitten hole, man. That's all I care about. And that's cool. It's okay. So I had something else I had important about sincerely important, but I've totally forgotten what it is. Yeah. And does anybody else? Oh, you guys are just on it in the chats right now. Does anybody else want to throw in right now? Something built like here to the stream, something positive building besides. It's actually great. I wish everybody could be reading the chats in this Zoom are great. Does anybody have another question, or does anybody else want therapy about this? Because I really think we need. Kitten hole is all I care about. Kitten hole is the new black. Further down the kitten hole. I like it. Downwards kitten hole. Downward spiral 2. Does anybody else have anything? And this is a perfect example of what. Do you see how now we are engaged? All of us angsty, goth, angry musicians who are so jaded and angry. We're all now awake and laughing at this kitten hole thing. Like, it's the funniest fucking thing. So be aware of this, and be aware of this in your marketing campaign. You're allowed to be funny. Anybody who has anything seriously to bring on to this now?
Nah, nothing serious.
Okay.
I just wanted to suggest to do a sampler with the kitten hole thing. We should really do this and sell it for free on Bandcamp.
For sure.
I'm in.
Okay, so therefore we're going to need a deadline of when we're going to do this. And if you want to do something really fun, make the music standard and typical to what you do in your style of music. So people can have a 30-second grab of what you sound like. 30 seconds. Or a minute. But keep it short, and so it just can go boom, boom, boom. And I don't mind everybody, if I do one of these, I don't mind you giving away for free from your Bandcamp either. I don't mind. In fact, if we wanted to do something really cool, each Bandcamp has something slightly different. But this is the sort of thing we will talk about afterwards. Unless Rob wants to talk about it now. Go, Rob.
I've got a serious question, Carl. In your deep wisdom and experience, how do I sample a kitten hole?
Well, you'd need to put a condom on the microphone. And you'd probably end up with the sound of the heartbeat. And it would have to be a very slender microphone as well, because they're used to thermometers, and that's about it.
Yeah, I was thinking the thermometer would be the way.
The most important thing to remember, Rob, is that cats are sharp.
Which end is sharp?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, don't declaw your cat.
Yeah.
They need a defense against kitten hole abuse.
Exactly. Or you could do a contact mic. But the problem you've got is contact mic on fur goes. It's a loud sound. But I don't know. Like when you say to me, "Fantastic Kitten Hole," that's the follow-up album, "Fantastic Kitten Hole." Kitten Hole. Fantastic Kitten Hole. Like I think it would be a modular sound that's like gurgling down like that. Oh God, Stephen, hi, how you going? And just make sure your mic's up because you're quiet.
Am I bothering you? Like, am I not? Like,
no, not at all. No, I don't think
okay.
anything could bother us at this point right now.
Okay,
But please
all right.
go.
Well, see, the way the universe has been working for me has been throwing me in situations, and like, I wanted when I first got on, what caffeinated, had took a shower. I mean, I hadn't like woken up, So I want to talk to you guys because what you're talking about right now is exactly what I'm doing with Topia thing. And the Kitten Hole idea is awesome. If you guys have like a few hours to collaborate on this, we could put a Kitten Hole scene in this thing. I would like to show y'all Topia. And like this is it's not like Burning Man where it's demonetization, whatever. There's very possible you put your Bandcamp links, your Twitch streams, everything on there, and really promote yourself. And it's a very unique way. And if at the end of this, if you guys have some time, I would love to go show you this. But you know, it's as much effort as you want to put into it, or as little. And I will help anybody that wants to put something up on this platform. But it's a really cool platform. And I think it kind of fits in everything that you're talking about right now, because it is a social media platform, but it's slower than TikTok, right? Because you get to see visual arts, you get to see other people's art, and it's actually a really, really cool platform. And the people who started it are really, really awesome people, and they're just a startup, and it's a small place, and it's really cool. It's called Topia. I will put in the
put it in the chat, and we'll throw it into the chat. So put it into the chat here, and I'll put in the chat there. So obviously,
now, the thing is, I will. I'm sorry.
No. The floor's yours.
So, if you guys want to go after this, I will open the thing so you can go as a guest. You don't have to put in a password. You don't have to put in an email address. Normally, when you join the site, you have to join you have to put in an email address and click, verify your email. But I can open it up for guests. And if you guys want to go see it later on after this, I will definitely give you a tour and show you what I'm doing. But I think, like, I know it sounds weird, and like, you guys don't really know me. I mean, me and Carl have been talking for years.
He's good.
But like, I really think that you guys would love this. Like, what I meant by this, I'm not making money off of it. I'm just doing this for my friends and people that I respect, just to really show off their art and their music. And like I said, like after this, if you guys want to go, I will show you how it works, and I think you'll be really impressed with it.
Cool. Like I said, I'm gonna leave the Zoom open. The one thing I can't do, no, I can. If I kill the stream, I can share screens. Awesome. Thank you. Yep. If there, like I said, if there is any social and websites exist that are aiming towards pushing what you're doing. The one that Steven's talking about, plus other ones are like marketplaces for musicians. Does anybody else have any questions or anything like that they want to? And why aren't I've seen people in the chat right now who need to be in this. I don't understand why they're not. Eric, help me.
I don't know if I can help you, Carl, but I do have kind of a serious question. For real, not a rock serious question. Which was pretty serious, though. All right, so we're talking about Bandcamp, right? And I do have a new EP I want to get up. All the stuff I've done from previous projects, I've finished the album completely, mastered and everything before actually putting it up on Bandcamp. I was wondering for everybody that's done Bandcamp with maybe putting up the EP or your album before all the songs are actually done. How do people put up, like, say you have a 10-track album, how do you put the songs up, and then like when you purchase it, you can download one for free, even if your songs aren't done yet, just to get the pre-sales done? Can you like put up your unfinished tracks and then take them down and then reload them up without changing everything on the screen? Or
okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can explain myself correctly.
Yeah, no, you are. So here's what I would suggest doing: put up a preview mix, an exclusive Bandcamp preview mix. Like, so take your best track, mix it as well as you can at this point of its existence, and that becomes the exclusive preview mix. Then all of the other tracks are up there, or you don't even, because I put Diesel Priest up there and I had no tracks, no nothing attached to it. It was just a name and a price, and I didn't even have anything in the thing, but that doesn't matter. So put up an exclusive mix. Then once everything else is mixed and mastered, up they go, including the final mix version of that one. And what you could do is just leave that preview mix version up there as it's an extra thing for the Bandcamp.
Okay, cool.
Thought? Yeah?
Yeah, thank you.
Does anybody else have something they want to throw out? Oh, we'll put this live. So, questions about... Boom. I hope. Thank you. Does anybody have questions about music or marketing or anything else that they want to bring up? And I will check the views on this stupid shit. Anyone?
So I have a question. I'm just not really sure if it's something that can be. I guess it's more of an observation.
Go.
Oh, sorry. So I want to say this in the most diplomatic way possible. I have noticed that this community is very white. Do you think that's a problem? Is that something that can be addressed?
That's a great question. And if you want to go there, I want to go there.
I mean, I'll go there. I don't know. It's something I was thinking about cutting the grass like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. All right. So here's an interesting thing, is that and forgive me if I say any terminology incorrectly. I'm still I'm not sure what terms are most respectful for people. So please understand that this is given with love and respect. There ain't a lot of women here either. So, and I have noticed that ANGELSPIT'S view and industrial music's hit points is 25 to 45. It's really quite a lot, 29-ish and up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny that when I'm getting my birthday requests every day from Facebook, no one's turning 20. In fact, very few people are turning under 30. And all the baby bats I knew, they're now in their mid-30s. So that's not the big one here. The big one is there is definitely a racial bias in industrial music and in gothic music. When you go to a club, there are not a lot of black people. There are a few more Mexicans. There's a whole bunch of white people. I would like to part B of this talk about the economic class splay of this, but that's not as important because us dealing with the issue of being open and welcoming people of all colors into our community at this period is possibly the biggest, most important thing. So I have noticed that, and I don't know what to do about it, because I have noticed also that black people by choice are not into industrial music. However, I could cite several great bands in industrial music that have black people in them. So my question back to y'alls, and when you look at your Twitch plays, your Spotify plays, all of that sort of thing, with a lot of these demographics, they will include race and skin color. And predominantly mine and many other people I know of within this genre, I shouldn't say many other people, I will just say within this genre, is biased towards male, 25 to 45. In fact, really it's 55 now. So this is a really good question. And there's a whole bunch of things here. And one of the questions is it because the beats and the music and the music you listen to, I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to say that the color of your skin has nothing to do with the music you like, or very little to do with the music you like. I don't have a scientific enough knowledge. I will say that the culture, your family, the people you hang around with and what you're exposed to dictates what music you're into, or what you choose to like. I think everybody, regardless of their sex, their gender, their da-da-da-da-da, could be into Stevie Wonder or could be into whatever. All these different forms of music. But it's just because what you've been exposed to, butter. So this is a big question, and I invite the floor to go open now that we tread here very sensitively, because we do need more people, and we do need to be more inclusive. That our genre it's not inclusive. And I have a story about that, but now's not the time. Randall, go. Also, Steve, your hand's still up? That's cool. Randall, what you got?
Okay. I'm like you were saying, I don't know. I don't want to like offend anyone, but I don't think I will. My friends when I was growing up were mostly black people. Like, because of that, I got into hip hop music. I also listened to heavy metal and grunge and white people music too. But the thing is, there is no black people music or white people music really. But society does that, I think. Like was just said, it's where you grow up, it's what you're exposed to. And why are there no rock stars anymore? Why is nobody cares about rock and roll anymore? Like, I was just thinking about it the other day. When was the last good, lasting heavy metal band? Like, the good heavy metal bands that people talk about are 20 years old. Like, and like he was talking about the industrial music, the people are old. Young people only know the whatever they try to call rap music now and pop music that gets shoved in their faces on everywhere. And I don't think it's necessarily that the community is not inclusive. I think there's no way to break through this big, massive wall of whatever this is to be seen. And part of that too is I know from when I was younger and hanging out, like I said, with mostly black people, because I mean, they were just like my best friends, you know? It's just the people I was around. I got crap for listening to rock and roll music. And, you know, and it was, oh, I can't understand how you can listen to that. And most of these people never even gave it a chance, because if they did, then, oh, they were, you know, why are you listening to white people music? And where I'm from, it's always been that way. There's always been like a separation. But the thing is, like 70% of hip hop records that were sold in the 90s, from the early 90s up till probably now, 70% of those records were sold to white males. Like, it's almost like, and a lot of stand-up comedians talk about it too, like, everybody wants to be black because black is cool, but they don't want to be black when they have to deal with being treated that way, which is really messed up. I used to actually, with a couple of buddies of mine, be a rapper. And I realized how racist rap music is, not against white people, but against like black people. Like, what gets popular in hip hop music, which is, you know, the black music, like, it's not, but that's what, you know, the cultural whatever is, that's what society says. It glorifies being a thug, being a drug dealer, like disrespecting women, that's the cool thing to do. And I realized that and didn't want to take part. I said that to my friend who I was actually working with on music and stuff, and he was like, yeah, you know what, exactly. And he's like, but that's why we need to say something. I was like, dude, but if we say that, nobody listens. Like, and the whole racial divide thing is totally pointless. It's totally stupid. I don't understand how anyone could think they're better than anybody for any reason at all. I don't care where you came from. I don't care who you are, what color you are, any of that. Everybody's a human being. Everybody's the same. And I feel like most of our community feels the same way too. But if the people don't show up, they don't show up. You know, if it's still, I can't hang out with those weirdos because of whatever, they're not going to hang out with the weirdos. You know? Like, I can't think of any place where I've been where, I mean, there's the other like goth people that I hung out with, the other punk rock kids that I hung out with, even the metal guys would wear the Nazi punks fuck off t-shirt, the Nazi guys fuck off t-shirt. Like, nobody that I've known that's part of the culture really of like goth or industrial or whatever even tolerates any kind of like the racism, sexism, anything. So I don't think it's necessarily the fault of the goth industrial community, if you want to call us that. It's a perception from society as a whole where, you know, oh, those people are devil worshippers, those people are whatever. And that's just not, I don't know. I don't know how, I probably should stop talking. I don't know how to actually express anything that I'm trying to say. I hope I'm making sense.
All right. You're
Okay,
making
go ahead.
you're making sense.
Oh, go ahead.
What I will say is that I think it's very important for us when we are at a club, when we are in a chat room, when we are anywhere, if we see a new face, to welcome that new face, especially
Yes,
if it is
absolutely.
a diverse face, especially if it's a young face or a female face. And we have to bring people in here because you hit on something, which is no one gets to choose if they're a freak or not. You just are.
Right.
And here we are in our little tribe of freaks, and there's a whole bunch of little tribe of freaks. And if you are, you know, drawn to that tribe of freaks, it's our jobs, because now we're elders in our freak tribe, to welcome these people, and to if we're at a club, to have a drink with them and have a talk and introduce them to other people too.
Right.
I'm going to stop there, yield the floor. Was there anything else you wanted to hit on before I pass it on to Adam?
No.
All right, man, thank you. I appreciate what you said.
Yep.
Adam, what you got?
Okay, well, I'm ready to leap in on this one. So,
Go for it.
it is, I don't think there's any debate at all. It is very, very obvious that the demographic is skewed in our culture, in our club culture, and what have you. Reasons for that. Culture has come up. That's a very huge one. Culture is a big one, and breaking out of your culture is a very difficult thing to do, and it becomes more difficult the deeper that culture runs. Like religious cultures, it's very hard to be a freak in a religious culture. It's very, very hard to be a freak in a culture that does not that is less accepting. One thing that I will say that goth has going for it is that it is how do I say this? Suburbia is a better place for experimentation, if that makes sense. And part of that, I think, is, you know, Carl alluded to the financial advantages being a part of that. I do think there's something to be said for that. That said, Exposure is a huge thing. If you've never been exposed to it, you don't know it exists. You find it when you find it. As you were saying, it's not up to you to decide that you're a freak. You just are. What's difficult then is finding a place where other freaks are. And that was a challenge. That was a challenge for all of us at one point in our lives. Don't lie. When you were 15 years old, you would have done anything to get to a place like the Limelight. I know I would. And you know, just knowing about it is half the battle. You know, just knowing about it. So other things that I do want to say about this, age being a player in that. A big part of the reason age is a player in that is because our culture is not top 40 anymore. It's you know, in the 80s we had rock stars, as you had mentioned before. We had rock stars. We don't have goth rock stars now. I do think I'm just going to skip right on over and say I do think that our freak culture is super inclusive, and that for the very most part, I mean, there's always going to be some exceptions. That's going to happen in any group. You go into a movie theater, there are probably more racists than at the freaking goth club these days. I think that well, okay, here one of my friends once said that once you're on this side of deviant, you don't throw stones. You know, once you're on this side of deviant, you don't point fingers. And so I think that when people do find our culture and they find our clubs and they find our events, they just want to dress up and do the same thing that we're doing, and we just want them to. I do think that more that how do I say this? Avenues of exposure matter a lot. Like you know, there aren't a great deal of heroes. I mean, this is something that comes up in the comic world a lot, right? Is that, you know, non-white heroes have been a problem. The lack thereof has been a problem for a long time. In the gaming world, this comes up. You know, it's not inclusive enough for women and all this kind of stuff. Like, you know, we are fixing these problems over time, but I think that the goth community, the goth industrial community in general, has always been super inclusive of that, partially because most of the place, a lot of the venues that give us the place to do our thing are gay venues in the first place. A lot of them are alternative venues of one sort or another. Another thing that I want to say is about fashion. What we would consider to be goth industrial fashion is actually kind of, it has these pockets in which it's pretty huge, like in New York and such, where the street fashion among young non-white are they're into the goth look. It's the music is not our scene's music. It's not goth music. You know, they have their own style that they, you know, that they've adapted, but like the street look, so to speak, of goth is actually like, I remember I was at the gay pride a number of years ago. This is going back about maybe 10 years ago. I went down to New York for the gay pride, and we were hanging out down on the pier, and there was this group of beautiful, all fucking decked out, you know, the leather and lace and the velvet and the contacts and the makeup and the whole 9 yards, right? Looking like right out of the Vampire Club, right? And all of them were dark skinned. And I went over to start talking to them, and my friends were like, they're not goth like you're goth, man. And I was like, I don't care. I want to talk to these kids. They're beautiful. And I went over, and they were kind of like, who's this weird old white guy talking to us, kind of thing. But I was like, you know, I was like super curious, like, you know, what are you guys into, kind of thing. And none of it was anything that really comes out of our culture. but it exists out there. The aesthetic crosses over in its own place, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam.
You know, and one of the things that I've thought for a long time, I've thought about that for a long time, and like, you know, I've talked to some friends about it because I'm interested. I mean, one of the reasons that I like electro swing and stuff is that I love hip hop beats and I love the turntablism, and in DJ culture, like, your color doesn't matter, you know what I mean? It's how you mix, you know, it's what you put together, it's what you bring. You know, in goth culture, I think that the same attitude exists. It's what you bring to the culture that matters most. Finding it is really the tough part, and I think that it's even harder to find if you're in a culture that is, how do I say, less likely to expose you to those kind of things. Like, you know, if we want to dig into that, you know, suburban advantage a little bit further, like, you know, you're more likely to read Poe if you go to a school that teaches Poe.
Yeah. And then you'll get into Lovecraft. Absolutely.
I mean, well, that's the thing, is that there have to be avenues. You know, I think that goth culture is a great avenue for people who need a different place to go.
Thank you, Adam. That's excellent. I want to jump in at some point. I really appreciate what everyone's saying here. I personally want to keep this on topic that Black Lives Matter, and we need to be inviting these people and open to these people to get these people into our community, because these people are our people. So
well, yeah, I was gonna say, like,
no, you're on par. I'm just sending out a reminder. That's it.
Yeah, well,
nailed it, buddy.
The thing is, well, the thing that I don't want to get into is platitudes, man. It's like, if you're a freak, you're one of us. That's all that fucking matters.
Absolutely. You brought up a whole bunch of things that I want to add to, because they were great. But first, I want to throw it to Eric, and thank you again, Adam. I always appreciate you've got a broad wisdom. Eric?
Thank you. Just want to start off by saying I really wish there was more diversity in our scene. It sucks that there's not. And I'm married to a Puerto Rican woman, and a lot of times we go out places and she's probably the only non-white person in the wherever we are, you know. It sucks. I don't really know the answer to why it's like this. If you look into things, it's like, for some reason, whether it's culture, the way you're brought up, whatever, like, it's just a thing of white people going one way with music and black people going another way, and I don't know why. And it's also strange when you look at stuff too, like Hobson, Tyler the Creator, rappers that are black who do more darker music. The white culture embraces them more than they would any other hip hop artist for some reason. And maybe it's because, like, you know, you're into the dark stuff, whatever. I just find stuff like that interesting, strange. I can't figure out why. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a community of people of all colors and ethnicities, and I'm very fortunate. And I don't know if that had an influence on the way I do music. I'm a huge fan of hip hop. Not actually, I should say, none of the mainstream hip hop that's out there now. I love underground stuff. I love old school. And I grew up with that stuff, but I also grew up listening to Nirvana and listening to 9 Inch Nails, Skinny Puppy. Like, you know, I was, like I said, fortunate to grow up around everything. I also, just my personal experience, I've found a lot of people in the hip hop community are closed-minded towards other music, whereas people in other communities aren't closed-minded to different other musics. And I just find that strange as well. Yeah, I'm a straight white male. I don't know what to say about that. That's just what I wanted to put out there. I don't know why it's like that. I wish it weren't, and I wish there was more diversity in our music scene.
Thank you, Eric. Brilliant. I'm going to go in after you, Alex, if that's okay. Vince, what you got?
I got my mic not wanting to turn on. No, I think there's an underlying thing that ties all of this together. That while yes, there's some racial division there, the racial division is because of the nature of capitalism. Capitalism needs people to be united against each other equally in order to thrive. So things only get marketed to certain groups of people. And that's where the marketing happens, and that's when people get divided on music. Dark music and the goth music and industrial music is not marketed to people of color. It's marketed at straight white men, mostly. If you look at within the community, there's a lot of not straight white men, like in there. There's a lot of other, but that's not who it's marketed to. So the fan base is mostly that. And I think Frank Zappa actually covered part of why this is in the music industry specifically in a video that I've seen posted on social media all over the place, where he talks about the marketing executive shift between the 60s and 80s. It went from being old dudes that had no idea what was going on, so they would just release anything, to younger guys that were more career driven and wanted to keep everything in little boxes to market it to the right people to make the most money out of it. So really the root of the problem is capitalism that drives systemic racism and creates division. And unfortunately, the music industry is an industry. And in order for it to work within capitalism, that's what happens. And I think the way around that is we need more people from our community to reach out to the hip hop community to do things. That is the problem. I've been trying to do that for the last couple of years already. I was actually, Mark, oddly enough, was a subject of conversation for my wife and I, because I pointed out that he was the only person of color that is consistently in these meetings with us. And I found it interesting that, yeah, they're in the community, just nobody hears about them. Like it's the marketing that shuts it down. You don't know about that. Nobody does an article about, the black keyboardist for an industrial band or the, Hispanic guitarist. Like their communities don't cover that because they're making music that's marketed to white people. So their own community doesn't cover their position in ours. So they don't get that exposure. So they end up like silent partners almost in white capitalism. And it's terrible, but it's unfortunately how things work right now. And we really do. People in the industrial and goth community need to reach out to more hip hop artists to do things together, because darkness is universal. That shadow of capitalism, it blinds everybody to that division on a grand scale. Like some of us notice, most people don't. They just stay in the machine, and you can't break out of it if you're not making connections with people to get out of it. So we need to reach out to the hip hop community more and work together. It's where our music came from.
Mark, I have to apologize.
Wait, hey, whoa. You put your damn hand up, Adam. Because I'll mute you, motherfucker. I will mute you now. I will mute Adam. I've got shit I want to say too. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Adam, Vince, what else did you have to say?
Adam interrupted. Now I forgot.
Okay.
I was on a rant though, so it's probably good he cut me off anyway.
Okay. That was amazing. Alex, I'm going to go in after you. I'm sorry, Adam. People have got to speak here. And I'll just also say what really sucks about the thing that we have is that if you're not a skinny white bitch in a bikini, if that's not on the cover of your fucking album, you ain't going to sell. Or people aren't going to click on your image and. Now, I'm going to... Alex, the floor is yours. Adam, put your hand up. I want to hear what you have to say. Just write it down. I want to hear what you have to say. Alex, I want to jump in after you, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. I had to jump in because an anecdote came to my mind because I had this friend. He's Turkish, and he in turn has a friend. And I wanted to go to my favorite club, and he said, "No, I don't want to go there." And I asked why, and he said, "Well, he has a friend. I think he was from Malaysia, and so they didn't let him in." So of course, I don't know whether it was like prejudice, or if maybe he was drunk or whatever. But apparently, they got the impression it was more like prejudice against him, who was like more darker skinned and couldn't speak German very well. And I just want to say, sometimes you don't realize how prejudiced some other people are if you're yourself not in this group. Like, for example, like I didn't realize how sexist some of my male peers were until I asked them for dating advice. Like, I was shocked at what they said. Like, I heard from someone like, "Yeah, you have to lie to women. They want that." And it blew my mind because I thought he was like a really decent person. And yeah, you really, sometimes you just don't know. And also what Adam said, that I think subcultures are slowly disappearing and they are more like internet niches that replace them. So it isn't more like goth culture, but like people who listen to industrial. Yeah, and also like gatekeeping. I've read online some people who said like, "No, black people can't be goths. They are not pale enough," or whatever shitty reason. So yeah, I think sometimes you just don't realize it if you don't are part of this group. That's all I wanted to say.
Thanks, mate. Mark, is it okay if I jump in here, or you can go first if you want?
Yeah, I was after you said you were going to jump in, so go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, Alex, you're probably aware of the Turkish situation, the Ausländer Turkish situation in Germany, that Turkish people get a lot of racism in Germany. I went on tour with a band in Germany. The lead singer was Turkish, and the very, very well-known headlining act gave them issues. And we played to a room full of fucking Nazis every night. And they gave them issues because, like, and they scoured these guys out because there was a Turk in the band, and in my band, Amelia was from Indonesia, and they gave us a whole bunch of hell too. And that's not picking on Germans, that's picking on racism because it's real. So there is a thing also in Germany with the Turkish population, and I've just been working with Els, and Els has gently reminded me that Europe has a thing. All countries have a thing. This racism thing, it's a thing that we all need to deal with. Vince, thank you so much for hitting that point on capitalism. I will say this. One, there's another fantastic freak group, and that's the Juggalos. And what we should be doing is go remix a Juggalo band and get them to remix you. The second thing is, I am challenged now to use to get a black guest vocalist who is in a band who is in another genre and get them on my track, and then I'll get on their track, scratching each other's backs. Always doing these swap things. I'm involved with a group called Justice for Hire, and the whole thing is about heroes. And in the concept of heroes, using martial arts, and I've talked a little bit about Justice for Hire, using martial arts, because music is a martial art, and all of the guys in Justice for Hire are all American karate or ninjutsu or Shaolin champions. And one of them studied under Shaolin monks in Tibet for 2 years, and all of them are black or Hispanic. And at their entire audience are black kids. And these are black kids from really bad backgrounds who have come together to find that peace and control in martial arts, to find their inner hero. So I'm working with Justice for Hire, and this is a group that you guys should also be looking into, because what they are doing is fantastic. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There is a word that we have to remove from our subculture, and that's baby bat. And we're fucking paying for that now, because there ain't no one under 30 in our group anymore. Even 35, because perhaps we shunned them. And I'll just finish with I as you guys know, I toured with Blood on the Dance Floor. There's another conversation in there, but the mission, when Angelspit chose to stay on that tour, despite what was going on that tour, our mission was to, because they were tapped into this new generation of freaks, our mission was to get, we said that if we can turn 10% of these kids and get them into a goth club, because they were pulling 1,000 to 2,000 kids every night, we will be able to increase double the number of some of the goth clubs in these cities. So we then, after our show, we were talking to kids. We were selling our community. Hey, man, if you like us, you'll like Bald. You'll like Skinny Puppy. We were pushing our community. What happened is that a whole bunch of Blood on the Dance Floor fans hit the Angelspit forums and hit the Angelspit Facebook likes, and the Angelspit fans pushed them out straight away because you're not one of us. Then these kids went to the clubs and they were not greeted with welcome. And I've spoken to you about this or something, and you're always saying that you, Adam, are shaking their hands and making them feel at home. And that's something all of us have to do, is that when a freak turns up and they're new, make sure they feel welcome. And let's all of us, I know that there is this pressure to have something that will appeal to straight white men. I know, and that's why we're in the problem we're in. So, this is even more important than Cat Hole. Get, work with an artist in another genre who is an artist of color, and start a mix going now. So you do a remix for them, they do a remix for you. You do a vocal for them, they do a vocal for you. Start expanding and introducing their music to our market and our music to their market. I believe that's how we're going to start, how we can do something about this. Mark, the floor is yours.
Gotcha. All right. So I was kind of throwing this little thing right here. One reason why the kind of divides between music might exist is that, so let me not say white America, but at least the music industry, which is trying to appeal mostly to white people because those are the people who have the money in most cases, they have a terrible habit of stealing from non-white artists. So I can understand why some people who are not white are like, hey, this is my music. I don't really know if I want, someone else in the community. Like, for instance, Eminem, basically any white rapper gets a lot of flack. I mean, now Eminem, I will say he's very skilled. So I think like he's kind of earned his place, but like you have to be a very skilled white rapper to get any acceptance in the rap community. But I'm saying, I understand why people are kind of hesitant to let, certain people into their community. At least if it's a community where the music is mostly from a non-white group. No, that was mostly it.
All right, thank you. Adam,
you were muted.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thanks heaps. Adam, the floor is yours.
Well, okay, so I was gonna tease before and say I'm so sorry, Mark. I never realized you were black. I just thought of you as a musician. But really, one of the things that I wanted to bring up, my friend Rhea, this is going back about 25 years. I lived on her couch briefly because she was a DJ and I was homeless. And she grew up Southern Baptist. She sings gospel and is a huge Depeche Mode fan and used to go to Man Ray, which is our goth fetish club in Boston, and she once said to me, she said, you see, the thing that we black people don't understand about y'all goths is we don't understand why you'd want to make yourselves look whiter. Right, which I always thought was great. So one of the things that I want to jump in on though about, so what you were just saying, Mark, about, the divide there. I mean, I'm going to go back to Disco Sucks, right? Like that was an incredibly racist movement, the rock and roll DJ in Detroit there, burning disco records in the ball field. You know, that just the phrase disco sucks is like a huge trigger for me. Like I find it offensive because it's an offensive thing, but it's you know, that kind of permeates rock and roll culture in that like baby boomer era. And that is something that has been passed down and passed down and passed down. Like we were kind of talking about in the sidebar over here about how country music is marketed, you know, in kind of a dog whistle, in dog whistle terms, right? It's like, and here's the thing that I think is important about marketing and like, you know, the ideas about doing outreach and doing different, yes, rock and roll was invented by a black dude. Everything was invented by a black. It all goes back to the blues, and that all comes from, you know, anyway, music history is music history. We know that white people have never done anything that original in the first place, but the long and short though is in marketing, you know, for me, you know, promoting my clubs and my club nights and the concerts and all that kind of stuff, it has always been about freak culture, not about, you know, not about being like rock and roll culture or industrial culture specifically or goth culture specifically. It's, you know, it's always been about being dark culture, you know. And in fact, one of the things that I did in the 2000s was I stopped using the words goth and industrial on my flyers because I just felt like it was an outdated thing to say. Really, it's like, you know, we're doing new stuff too, and you know, and I think that's kind of one of the things that plays into the age thing is like goth is something that old people do, right? Like goth hasn't been a cool word since Columbine. Right. And so when we're talking about marketing, like here, you know, actually the reason I literally stopped putting goth on our flyers was because I was in CVS buying tapes so I could put up more posters, and there were these super cool punk rock looking girls with piercings in there all over the place, and the color hair and the lacy, you know, boots and the whole 9 yards, right? I was like, yeah, they look like they'd want to go to my club. And I hand them a flyer and they look at the flyer and they go, the one girl turns to the other like, do we look goth? I was like, you look like you just fucking fell out of a Dresden Dolls concert. Like, do you look goth? You think? Right? But I was like, after that, I was like, that word no longer applies. You know what I'm saying? Like we're having a revival now. Like goth has kind of become a cool word again. It's like it's been a long time since Columbine. That rhymes. But yeah, in terms of marketing, I think, you know, and this is the thing too, is like, you know, you're talking about like you know, like juggalo culture or hip hop culture, like, you know, each of these subcultures has a thing at the core that makes it real in its own terms, right? You know, we're talking on the Twitch over there about, you know, the four pillars of hip hop, if you will, right? You know, each culture has the thing about it that makes it real, and yes, it is hard to crack those crossover lines. I think some of the ideas that we've heard here are good ways to do that, but I think that the thing is that if it's not genuine, it will not ring true to either audience. And that's where I'm going to leave it off, is in your marketing. Your marketing has to be genuine. It's again, it's, you know, like we're freak culture. You know, oh, this is the other thing I wanted to say, man, is like, yeah, Carl, you know, this is, you know, this is again going back, you know, like about a little over 10 years ago, there was a particular promoter that I was working with. I was like, stop shitting on the baby bats. Stop shitting on the baby bats. Stop shitting on the baby bats.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? They started a whole nother club night in competition and wiped the other one off the face of the planet. Good job, guys.
Thank you, Adam. Vince, can I go in after you? This is really good. There's a lot of topics being hit here. I'm sorry, Alex. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly throw in. I think it's also important not to tokenize people. So I think you should still remember to see them for what they do, and maybe it's hard to strike a balance, but I think it's also really important just to see people for what they are and maybe make connections, but try not to tokenize people.
That's awesome.
I could have said it more eloquently, but that's it.
No, that's great. Was there another hand? Did I see? If not, I will jump in. I thought
Vincent.
Eric, Vince, go.
Vince.
Yep. Floor's
Okay.
yours, Vince.
I just
I'm
want
up
to say
to
in
you.
response to what Adam. Yeah, I just wanted to say in response to what Adam was saying, it has to be authentic. He said that it clicked a little bit. I think the way to go about that is to reach out to people you genuinely enjoy something they've done, so that when you make a connection there's a mutual respect. Get their attention, and you have to market it as a universal concept that applies to both sides. I think that's the issue there, is finding common ground when everything is marketed so separately. And people don't realize it, but darkness is a good common ground. That's all.
Thanks, man. Okay. All right.
May I comment on that
Sure,
very
yeah.
briefly? You know, not for nothing, man. So is anybody who's ever had a bottle thrown at them to the tune of faggot. Like, Mark, I'm gonna guess that you've gone through some crap coming out of your own neighborhood and culture and family kind of thing that made you stand out as different enough that they criticized you enough for it that you're here now. And all of us. No, well, you're very, very fortunate, and
No, as far as
you're
how I
lying.
ended up here, it was actually like I used to listen to like rap, hip hop, and I was like, well, I mean, I guess this is music. And
still
then I went
listen
to
to
a
rap and
friend's
hip-hop
house
as
to
well.
play D&D, and he was playing 100% by ANGELSPIT'S.
Woo!
And I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, this is 100% by ANGELSPIT'S. So I went home, and I was like, wow. I looked it up and bought the album from Australia, and they got
Mark.
lost in the mail.
Mark, I'm gonna clue into one of the things there and say you went to your friend's house to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
You were already one of us, baby. You just hadn't heard it yet.
Oh yeah. It's like they had because like I've been playing,
Dungeons and Dragons is one of those places we come together. Renaissance fairs, Dungeons and Dragons, all that. That's where I discovered goth proper.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the Renaissance fairs. Like, I didn't know there was a goth scene. I knew there was like the Sisters of Mercy. I knew there was the Damned. I liked punk rock, I liked rock and roll. But I did not know that there was such thing as a goth scene until I was employed at the New York Renaissance Fair as a teen. And I ran into these awesome green-haired girls that were like, you're so goth, you're so goth, you're so goth. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm just going to jump in just before you, Randall, if that's okay. Firstly, I will say that there is a very popular and awesome band in the goth community, and their father, the dad of this band member, is a lawyer who represented and helped get Dungeons and Dragons going. And when we're off the stream, I'll tell you who that is. And yeah, fucking awesome. Okay. Firstly, I want to talk about equity. I hope I've got this right. So there is an idea there's now coming up, and it's a really great idea, that everybody should have the right in this race to start at the starting line, get the same amount of training, have the same shoes, and it's not communism. It's the idea that if we're all going to run the race together, you should be able to have the same the access to the same things that the people beside you, regardless of their color, their economic income, etc. And that is such a generalization. I wasn't fair to equity because there's so much about it. It's a great idea. There are several places where the idea falls short. Obviously, one is economic entitlement. Two is the color of your skin. And the other big one for me is the drive and the motivation and the work ethic. Now, the problem with those three things, they have a lot to do with your economic background and the color of your skin. Because if you're brought up in a family, which I am and I am grateful for, that my parents worked and worked and worked and worked and worked, lost everything. Worked and worked and worked and built a kingdom, lost it all again, worked and then got out. So I was in a situation that didn't have alcoholic abuse, domestic abuse, or anything like that, just encouragement and go, 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 go. Sure, one day you might meet my parents and you'll go, I understand why you're so angry at the government now. You'll get everything, but the something is going to fuck you up and probably take a lot of that away from you. So I was lucky. I was brought out of the situation of meritocracy, which is another conversation, but I don't want to have it now. So I walked onto the playing field with these things, and they were from my background. However, other people walk onto the onto the playing field, and they don't have the same work ethic because they saw their family, possibly because of the color of their skin, possibly because of their economic realization, get bashed down, and they saw their grandparents bashed down and 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 bashed down. And if you want an example of how people get bashed down, listen to Stevie Wonder, because in 1972, he was singing about precisely the problems we are facing now. Nothing has changed. So, here's the problem, or our problem as I see it, is that if you call someone dirt for long enough, they're going to believe it. And then they're going to start acting like it. And the problem is that people who would get dirt because their parents were called dirt and their grandparents were called dirt, they bring anger and baggage with them. So it's going to take on your half, it's going to take love, forgiveness, and understanding. And those three things are real fucking hard, especially when you're dancing and singing about death. Love, forgiveness, and understanding are really, really fucking hard in this day and age, and that's what we are going to need to overcome this problem of racism, of classism, of economic reality. And there are all of these other problems that are facing, but the problem we've got is people of color are on the front line of getting shit flung at them. They don't have access to healthcare. They don't have access to a lot of universities. There's all of these problems that I don't have to tell you guys about that these people are facing. So step one, we have to be understanding that other people were not, sure, equity all the way, but what I'm trying to say is that this equity, brilliant, fantastic model falls apart when the person next to you goes, why will I bother running this race in the first place? Some fucker's going to trip me. Something's going to go wrong. So, as far as the concept of equity and the great racetrack that I'm trying to talk about, we haven't even got to the fucking track. We're only starting training. In fact, we're probably even just talking about training, if you understand what I'm trying to tell you. Because so many people who are facing these problems are not ready to go with the racetrack because people like me have said shitty things to them. Even if it's a glance, even if it's the rolling of an eyeball, even if it's the tiniest fucking thing, that all you need is to hit that button, and you might do it accidentally, and then they go bam. They hate themselves. So, what we have to do, and I'm talking about us here right now, is that we have to exercise the concept of love and of forgiveness and of understanding. And if somebody comes at you, bro, with fucking attitude and shit, there is a reason they're coming at you, bro, with that attitude and shit. And you have to try and see past it. So we've got to start, if there are people of color or people of lower economic things, give them this Zoom link and jump in there. I have a degree in music because I'm from a country that has all of this shit set up, and it cost me basically nothing. In fact, I didn't cost me anything at all. It was free, and it was a degree that is as good as Berkeley. So what my ulterior motive here is, I lectured in music technology and part of music theory. I'm an adult learner. I have accreditation for being an adult learner. This is free, and you don't have to be a Patreon. You don't have to be giving me money. And the other part of the cake is that what I'm bringing here is a fraction, because you guys are bringing stuff as well that is just as important of what I had learnt at university. So if you have people who are of people of color, especially Indigenous Americans, that's my jam, but we're going to get to that one later. Or are from harsh economic backgrounds and black. And if they're into hip hop, I don't fucking care. Bring them here. Because if we can't give them the education, we will give them fire, and we will give them encouragement, because that's what we do. That's our tribe. This is not goth at all, because none of us are goth. Version fucking 3 or something. I don't know. So give them the Zoom to this, and we will help each other through this. Reality of the financial class. Vince hit that so perfectly. I'm not even going to cut that. That's all I got. And I am looking at the time a little bit as well, because I've got to get a COVID test. I'm fine. It's a work thing. But I'm going to throw the floor open to you guys, and once we're done, I'm leaving the Zoom open, but I have to bail. Randall, the floor is yours in limited time.
Okay, I'll try to be quick. I'll address what you said first about the whole levels and where people come from. You mentioned the whole Native American thing. My great grandmother was full Cherokee.
Woo!
Yeah. So I'm not as white as I look. Lot of stories from her growing up, like the stuff she had to deal with, and it was pretty ugly. So the whole, and I grew up from poor farming family, poor community. Never had any of the advantages myself. So I totally know the beat down thing you're talking about. Took a long time to not be beaten down. And, but the other thing before that I was going to address is we were talking about the crossover things in the different genres of music. When, listening to hip hop and stuff, somebody have a song they're listening to and they're like, man, this beat is awesome. Check out this beat that the RZA made on this Jizza song. And I'm like, nah, that's a Gary Newman song. Like, that's a Gary Newman song called Films. RZA didn't do that. He just looped Gary Newman. They're like, oh man, listen to this Dr. Dre beat on this record. And I'm like, actually, no, he just looped the intro to When the Levee Breaks by Led Zeppelin. Like, or that song Diddy did on the Godzilla soundtrack. And I'm like, no, that's Kashmir by Led Zeppelin, really. Like, and so I try to point out that, yes, the people you listen to that you think are geniuses in hip hop are taking, those beats aren't necessarily that genius you think. It's a different genius they borrowed from. So, if you point that stuff out, then people go, oh, maybe I should go listen to this or whatever. It works both ways. And, I just wanted to say that because we were talking about the crossover thing.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Randall. Just a really quick question. Vince, are you also Cherokee?
Yes.
Well, my Ashley, one of my best friends is also Cherokee. Learn the language. Start learning the language. You got to keep that language alive. And then teach us some words. Now, I was dating a Shishumi girl, and she taught me some Shishumi that I just botched so badly. I will stop now. Eric, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Carl. I am actually interested in what Mark has to say about the general thing that he brought up. And also, Mark, you saying you were in the hip hop and rap and you branched out. how did you introduce that other music to your friends at all? How did they feel about different music outside of rap? And then also, without going into genres of music and everything, how do you feel being black and going into goth clubs and industrial clubs, whatever you want to call them? Like what about that?
Gotcha. So as far as the clubs go, that's an easy one. Never been because I had one chance to go to one. I think I was gonna go to an ANGELSPIT'S show in Atlanta, and I told my mom about it, and she was like, "Okay, sure, that's fine." And then about 2 days before I was supposed to leave, she was like, "You're not allowed to go. Why?" I didn't. I just wanted you to feel better, but I was gonna say no from the very beginning, something like that. Basically, I wasn't allowed to go, and she told me late notice. So I was just like, so I lost my chance. And then I was gonna go to it's not goth, but I was gonna go to an OTEP show in town, but something happened. I couldn't make it that evening. But anyway, so I've never actually been to a concert. I'm sorry, what was your first question?
Being with rap and hip hop music only, and then branching out when you heard Angel spit into different genres. Did you try introducing it to your friends, or how did your friends feel about different genres of music outside of rap?
Oh, gotcha. So I didn't have a ton of friends. What I did do is like after I kind of got into Angel Spit, I went on Pandora because Pandora was a thing at the time. And that's how I found some of the other bands. The friend who introduced me to Angel Spit, obviously, he was kind of already into a lot of these similar things. And then I have some friends who are into metal, which I'm kind of into metal too. And then I asked a bunch of other friends about, well, a few other friends about, hey, what do you listen to? What have I been missing? But I haven't really shared it too much with other people. Oh, okay, I did have a great moment with my roommates. We were driving out to somewhere, and I was driving, and so I had my music on, and they were like, "Wow, actually, I really like this. What is this?" And I told them about it. Like, "Oh, this is okay, cool." But yeah,
Thank you.
no problem. I mean, I have a lot to say about racism and other like societal issues from the black perspective, but obviously, our time is short.
It is, and unfortunately, I do have to cut this. I'm gonna leave the Zoom open. I want to hear that. I want to hear this. So I'm gonna say goodbye and thank you to everyone. Just FYI, that stupid thing we did before is at, wow, only 22 views. I can't read this damn thing properly. Anyway, I think it's more than that because my hearts are going up. Anyway, look, fuck Instagram. This shit doesn't really matter. The conversations we're talking about now matter. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for being a part of this. I'm going to leave the Zoom open. We're going to hang out and chat. Sincerely, I love you guys. What we're talking about is real, and I'm really grateful. I think we're doing this next time, same time next week. It's Halloween. I have uncle obligations. Which includes burying chocolate skulls in the garden. I think we'll be on, but if we're not on, I'll let you know. And I guess all we should do is wave and say goodbye. And we're going to stream to MTV TV. Going to stream to MTV TV now. I'm going to make a global thing. Boom. Bye.